Dwayne Johnson is more than just a celebrity. He is a symbol of relentless hustle, transformation, and human potential. Known for his larger-than-life presence in both the wrestling ring and on the silver screen, Johnson's journey from a troubled teenager to the highest-paid actor in the world is a story as epic as any Hollywood film he starred in. But it didn't start with lights, cameras, or millions of fans. It started with hardship and just $7 in his pocket. Chapter 1. Born into a legacy and chaos. Dwayne Douglas Johnson was born on May 2, 1972, in Hayward, California. His roots were deeply embedded in the world of professional wrestling. His father, Rocky Johnson, was one of the first black champions in the WWE, then WWF. His grandfather, Peter Maivia, was a Samoan wrestling legend. But while his family's names echoed in arenas across the country, life behind the curtain was not easy. The Johnson family moved constantly, from California to Hawaii to New Zealand to Pennsylvania. Dwayne often witnessed his parents struggle to make ends meet. At the age of 15, he watched his mother break down in tears as they were evicted from their home. That moment etched itself into his memory. I remember my mom crying and me promising myself, I'm going to do everything I can so this never happens again. His teenage years were filled with trouble. He got into fights, was arrested multiple times for theft and fighting, and struggled with his identity. But something inside him refused to quit. That something would later become the driving force of his life. Chapter 2. The football dream that didn't last. In high school, Dwayne discovered football, and it changed his path. With his natural size, speed, and aggression, he earned a full scholarship to play at the University of Miami, one of the most elite football programs in the country. There, he played as a defensive lineman on the national championship team. He had dreams of making it to the NFL, but fate had a different plan. After multiple injuries and losing his starting position, Dwayne went undrafted in the NFL. He ended up signing with the Calgary Stampeders of Canadian Football League, CFL, but was cut from the team after just 2 months. At 23 years old, with no job, no money, and a crushed dream, he returned to live with his parents. In his wallet, just $7. Chapter 3. Wrestling with Destiny. With football behind him and no other career options, Dwayne turned to the family business, wrestling. He trained under his father and in 1996, debuted in the WWE as Rocky Maivia, a character based on his father's and grandfather's legacies. But fans didn't like it. They rejected the clean-cut persona. The crowds booed. They chanted, Rocky sucks. Most people would have quit, but Dwayne pivoted. He reinvented himself as The Rock, a cocky, trash-talking heel who lit up the mic with unmatched charisma. He embraced the hate, flipped the script, and became a fan favorite. The Rock became one of the biggest stars in WWE history. 10-time world champion. Iconic catchphrases. Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? WrestleMania main events. Legendary rivalries with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, and The Undertaker. By the early 2000s, The Rock wasn't just a wrestler. He was a pop culture phenomenon. Chapter 4. The Hollywood Climb. While still wrestling, Dwayne began testing the waters in Hollywood. His first major role came in 2001's The Mummy Returns, followed by a leading role in The Scorpion King 2002. The movie was a box office hit, and The Rock officially had his foot in the door. But the transition from wrestling to acting wasn't easy. He had to prove that he was more than just muscles and a famous name. Over the next several years, he took on a wide variety of roles. Walking Tall 2004, The Rundown 2003, Gridiron Gang 2006, The Game Plan 2007, Tooth Fairy 2010, often mocked, but part of his strategic move to appeal to families and expand his brand. It wasn't until he joined the Fast and Furious franchises Luke Hobbs in Fast 5 2011 that his movie career exploded. His presence revitalized the franchise and helped to become one of the most profitable in cinema history. From there, his career hit overdrive. Chapter 5. Blockbusters and billion-dollar hits. Over the next decade, Dwayne Johnson became one of the most bankable stars in the world. Notable films: San Andreas, 2015, disaster film hit. Moana, 2016, voiced Maui. singing You're Welcome, beloved by kids and adults. Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, 2017, and its sequel, global box office smashes. Rampage, 2018, and Skyscraper, 2018, high-octane action films. Hobbs and Shaw, 2019, Fast and Furious spin-off. Jungle Cruise, 2021, Disney Adventure. Red Notice, 2021, Netflix's biggest movie at the time, alongside Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot. Black Adam, 2022, his long-awaited superhero debut in the DC Universe. Despite Black Adam underperforming at the box office, it didn't slow him down. He continued building his empire outside of acting. Chapter 6, the businessman, the father, the icon. Dwayne Johnson isn't just an actor, he's a brand. He co-founded $7 Productions, named after the money he had when he was broke. He's a successful entrepreneur with Terramana Tequila, which has sold millions of bottles globally. Zoa Energy Drink. Project Rock, his athletic gear line in partnership with Under Armour. The UFL, formerly XFL, a professional football league he purchased and restructured. Beyond business, he's a proud family man. He has 3 daughters and often shares his life as a girl dad on social media. Despite his success, he remains humble, often surprising fans, donating to causes, and showing deep gratitude for where he came from. Conclusion: what Dwayne Johnson represents. Dwayne Johnson's life is not just about wrestling belts and blockbuster movies. It's about building something from nothing. It's about failure, grit, and the ability to pivot. It's about being told you'll never make it and becoming the biggest star in the world anyway. He once said, "Success isn't always about greatness. It's about consistency. Consistent hard work gains success. Greatness will come." From $7 to global fame, from football fields to red carpets, from hardship to history, Dwayne Johnson is living proof that you can rewrite your story no matter where it begins. Before he was known as The Rock, Dwayne Johnson was simply a kid caught between 2 worlds. Born into a wrestling dynasty, his father, Rocky Johnson, made history as the first black man to win a tag team championship in the WWF. His mother, Adam Maivia, was the daughter of the legendary Samoan wrestler, Peter Maivia. Wrestling wasn't just a sport, it was a family business. But even a famous last name couldn't shield a family from hardship. Though his family lived in the spotlight, they often couldn't afford the rent. As a boy, Dwayne remembers being evicted from their small apartment in Hawaii. His mother broke down in tears as they stood on the curb with no home and nowhere to go. "That moment changed me," he has said. "It fueled a fire in my belly that has never gone out." Growing up, Dwayne wasn't always a composed, motivational figure we know today. As a teenager, he struggled with anger, displacement, and instability. By the time he was 17, he had been arrested multiple times for theft, fighting, and forgery. He often found himself living in a constant state of uncertainty. The root of his pain? A broken sense of control over his life. But instead of spiraling, he turned to something that gave him structure: sports. By the late 80s, Dwayne channeled his physical power into football. At Freedom High School in Pennsylvania, he became a standout athlete and earned a scholarship to University of Miami, a college football powerhouse. At Miami, he was surrounded by future NFL stars, but he wasn't a star of the team. He sat on the bench, plagued by injuries and crushed expectations. His shot at the NFL evaporated before it began. He briefly joined the Calgary Stampeders in Canadian Football League, but was cut just 2 months in. That's when he hit what he calls rock bottom. He returned home broke and defeated, with $7 to his name. Out of desperation, and because he had nothing left to lose, Dwayne made the decision to enter the family business, professional wrestling. In 1996, he made his WWE debut as Rocky Maivia, an all-smiles, third-generation babyface. The fans hated it. The character was forced, overly cheerful, and disconnected from reality. The crowd turned on him. "Rocky sucks," they chanted. It was humiliating, but Dwayne didn't fold. Instead, he transformed. He turned heel. He dropped the Rocky Maivia name and became The Rock, an arrogant, sharp-tongued icon whose catchphrases and charisma lit up arenas worldwide. Know your role and shut your mouth. It doesn't matter what your name is. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, he became one of the most beloved superstars in WWE history. His feuds with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, and Mankind became legendary. He headlined WrestleMania, won 10 world championships, and transcended wrestling itself. Dwayne Johnson is one of the most loved celebrities on earth.